Got a secret for you. I'm going to tell you today why two-bedroom houses are great buy and hold investment properties. It's not necessarily the target of a lot of people, but I'm going to tell you why it may be one of my upcoming targets and why it can definitely work for you. My name is Jonathan Green. I run a big team called Streamline Properties on Market, brokered by eXp Realty, and I have an off-market property acquisition company called Streamline Properties. I've been investing in real estate for 30 years. That's how I know that two-bedroom homes can be great buy and hold investment property. Here's why. This is what you're here for. These tips can help you figure out better ways to invest and be careful with what your investments become. So the reason that two-bedroom homes are more attractive, in my opinion, than a lot of three-bedroom homes is because you can get them for scalably less. The reason why is there's less people in the market for two-bedroom homes. So if you already have a child and you have a family, or if you're living with family members, a two-bedroom home is like maxed out. That's two bedrooms. So you have potentially a couple and then a child in one room. The bedrooms are full. There's not going to be a ton of extra common space in a two-bedroom. So there's very few families that buy two-bedroom homes, which means there's less competition when you're going to buy them. You're basically up against single people and couples. And again, if those couples think that they may have a child soon, they're probably not going to go with a two-bedroom because they know they're going to grow out of it pretty soon. And again, the square footage is pretty small in two-bedroom homes. You don't go into many two-bedroom homes and you're like, wow, this is huge. It doesn't really work like that. They're small, they don't work for a lot of people, and that's why you have more opportunities to get them. Sure, we just went through a hot couple of years of real estate, but still, there's less people looking for two-bedroom homes. So if you're an investor, that's why it's attractive to me as an investor, because I can have less competition with what I'm trying to get. The biggest benefit that I see is on the rental side. In my opinion, in most markets, a two-bedroom home is going to rent for pretty close to three-bedroom homes, because a lot of the three-bedroom homes that rent, the third bedroom's small anyway. You're in a huge upswing if you have a two-bedroom home with like a finished basement. You're golden. Your rent's going to be very close to those traditional three bedrooms that don't have extra space in the basement. So I like it because your rent is going to be pretty close to three-bedroom rents, which means you're getting more and you're paying less, because three-bedroom homes sell for a lot more than two-bedroom homes. Just generally, every market has its own dynamics, but this is how you have to look for pockets as an investor that work for you. Like in 2022, that's still this year, I was into mixed use Main Street commercial because I think there's a lot available. And I think there's not necessarily a lot of two-bedroom homes available, but there's less people trying to get them. So if you just think of it that way, the reason they're good as long-term buy and holds is you will get steady appreciation, especially if you buy right and in the right areas. If you have a nice, hip two-bedroom home in a nice area that is eventually going to appreciate more, you're going to get scalable appreciation, not as much as you would for three-bedroom, but you're still going to get appreciation, but your cash flow is going to be steady. And if you live in a short-term rental, Airbnb-friendly area, two bedrooms are really good Airbnbs. Why? Because it's less wear and tear. It's cool to have a five-bedroom Airbnb, but you're always getting groups going to those, which means a lot of people each time. So remember, there's a lot of turnover with Airbnb. You may have 10, 15 tenants during a month. When you have a two-bedroom, you're going to have much less people through there. It's going to be a lot, again, single people and couples, maybe a couple small families that will come to rent a two-bedroom, and you're still going to do well on the Airbnb circuit if you do it up nicely. It's easier to furnish if you're doing Airbnb. You're going to be able to get more for it. And if you're doing long-term, you're just going to have steady renters. Most of your renters for two-bedroom homes, they're going to graduate and eventually go and buy a home, probably a three-bedroom. You'll have a lot of renters that will have a baby and then want to buy their own home. The reason this is good is I like long tenants that stay there a long time, but they always end up paying less rent. So in my opinion, if I can nurture clients in an environment where they're going to go buy a home, that's actually good for me as a landlord. It gives me the opportunity to raise the rent depending on the restrictions of your area. And it also gives me the opportunity to do repairs each year or 2 years and upgrade, so I can upgrade the rent as well. So that's it. Hopefully that's a great tip for you. It's why 2-bedroom homes can be really good buy and hold investments. See ya.